I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
With a chip on my shoulder, I arraigned myself against society, as you know. And thus, though accepted in most places as Rolland Fletcher, gentleman at leisure, I still found pleasure and adventure in my role of the Grey Goose. Hence, I am almost public enemy number one. Thinking thus, I was suddenly roused by a peremptory summons from Barbara Faversham's flat. That you calling?
Yes, do come in.
All right. Shove the old bookcase around.
Good. I've got something to show you. Close the gadget.
Ooh. Remind me to get our false bookshelf wall oiled up in the very near future. Getting to sound like a lady driver changing gears. But why the summons?
Have you read the papers?
No, and I mean no.
Pity. There's some news.
Don't tell me. An atom bomb experiment near Moscow killed all the Russians.
Nothing quite so devastating. Listen. Edmund Purbright, famous manufacturing tycoon, today added to his immense fortune by winning a football pool. £45,000.
Good old Edmund. Lucky old Edmund.
Rubbish. He's maybe lucky, but he's not good old. He's a cantankerous old skinflint worth millions, and he has to win £45,000.
Lucky old Edmund.
Listen. He's on the list.
Oh, ho.
Yes. One of the famous 40 thieves.
Ah, that's different. So it appears we must relieve him of some of his ill-gotten gains.
Definitely. Now listen to this story, too. Abel Armstrong, his chief mechanical designer, was a staunch friend of Father's when the crash came. Purbright chucked Abel out. He'd always kept the old chap under his thumb.
Well, what excuse did he have for sacking Armstrong?
None, except the old chap knew too much. But his excuse was that Abel was past work.
Which he wasn't, I presume.
Of course not. Now, are you going to let an injustice like that go by without some effort?
Well, we can't pinch his pool ticket. Too many complications. Mean old stick, this Edmund Purbright.
Mean, intolerant, and a miser.
Then, of course, we'll have a go at him. There may be pickings.
There will be. He has a factory site filled with machinery and contracts for precision articles worth millions. Well?
Can't exactly stop the works by putting sand in the jolly old mechanism, can I?
Well, you can do something, can't you?
Yes, I think I can. Where does he live?
He has a luxury flat over the works.
From which he can watch the wheels go round, eh? Not so good. However, we must go over the situation and scheme how best to perform a little operation on the Purbright checkbook. Twerps forward. We'll visit that factory, I think.
Good. I knew you'd do something. I'll come with you.
That'll be a great help. Maybe. This is a great place, this is. Can't force a factory door. Slaves all over the place. Night watchman and all complete.
Ring the night bell.
And then what?
The night watchman will open the door.
And we fell him with a spanner, and then dive in and drag out a 2,000-pound lathe, a 10,000-pound generator, shove them in the boot of the car, and hop it.
Oh, that'd be silly.
Silly? It will be suicide. No, I think I've got a better idea. I do knock up the night watchman. He comes to the door, and I ask to be directed to Mr. Edmund Purbright's flat.
Where do I come in?
You don't, yet. Just bob out of sight when I ring this bell and wait for instructions, right?
Right.
Here goes, then.
Yes?
Anyone around? I have a special message for Mr. Purbright.
The boss never sees anyone after the factory's closed.
Oh, confound it. I've come an awful long way to see him.
Morning's the time. In any case, you don't come in this way. His flat's round the back, up the fire escape. But you can't climb that.
No?
No. Not unless I unlock the gate from a gadget here in the factory watchroom.
Washroom?
Watchroom, I said.
Oh, sorry. So I can't see him.
Orders. Now, sir, or whatever you are, go away and come again in the morning.
Oh, thanks. I'll do that.
Yes, just do that, and no larking, see?
Larking?
Yes, you heard. No larking. This place is security, see? Wired to high heaven with electricity and alarm bells to police. 5 every hour. Goes off like. Now, Hobbit, I'm off on me rounds and don't you forget what I said.
No larking. Well, so that's that.
Well,
You heard?
yes, I heard.
Barbara, have you ever heard of Colonel Blood?
No,
He once managed to break into the Tower of London and stole the crown jewels.
did he?
And if by any chance we could have resuscitated him, we'd have been able to ask him how.
So, we give up.
Oh, no. We just go round to that electrified gate, leading up the fire escape. Then, being shockproof, we climb over it and knock on the door and ask old man Pirbright for £45,000. Oh, easy.
So, we do give up.
Don't keep putting ideas into my head. No, we explore. Come on, if you've any Colonel Blood in your veins. Well, we'll just pay a call at my car first. There's a pair of rubber gloves in the toolbox and a pair of rubber galoshes.
What are the galoshes for?
To keep the wet out, silly. Come on.
Here's the gate.
Yes, so I notice. 6 feet high, electrified to the last ohm or amp, whichever it is. Well, I'm about to give you an exhibition of a man in the electric chair, or I get over safely.
How?
With these gloves on, I'm going to try and vault it, so stand aside. If I miss and touch it with my body, I shall just fizz like a blue flame. You then drive home and say to yourself, well, he was a gay spark, R.I.P.
Oh, let's give it up. It's too dangerous.
Nonsense. A piece of cake. Currant cake. Oh, not very funny, really. Well, here goes.
You made it.
So I did. Electrocution postponed. Now stay there and keep KV while I go aloft and find our Mr. Pirbright. Cheers. See you later. The old man's in, apparently. Lighting up a window. I wonder if I can get a look-see. Oh, no good. Blinds down. Have to be polite, I suppose. Knock on the door and all that.
Well, that's the plan. And tomorrow we shall have to see that the shareholders are given the usual bunker.
Company. That's bad. I hoped he was alone. However, here goes.
Here, what the devil? Here, get a move on, quick. Right, I'll be in the back room.
Now, I wonder who that can be.
Here, what's the meaning of this? Who let you in? How did you get here?
My dear sir, I had no idea you were engaged, or I would not have presumed to invade your privacy.
But how the devil did you get here? Past all that galvanic protection?
Quite easily, my dear sir. And if you'll allow me to enter, I'll willingly demonstrate to you the fallibility of your so-called galvanic protection.
Oh, you will you? Very well, then. Oh, my wrist!
Yes, your wrist. One little mite of pressure, and it breaks. Please don't reach for that button. I sense it'll set the whole alarm system in action. Can I come in?
As you're forcing me, I've no option.
Thank you. Shall we shut the door? Thank you again.
Well, however you managed to circumvent my safety device, I don't know. But I shall shortly find out. And there's somebody going to be sacked as soon as I do.
That's a little hobby of yours, isn't it? Sacking trusted servants.
What do you mean?
Let it pass for the moment. Now, will you kindly resume your seat and give me the opportunity of stating my business?
I'd like to know what sort of business brings a man to my flat after dark and masked like a highwayman. If you had legitimate business, then I have an office and hours for callers.
I prefer it this way.
Do you realize that this plant and building are employed in secret work for the government?
I do.
And that being so, you are liable to extreme punishment?
I do. Oh, sounds like the wedding ceremony, doesn't it?
All right, I'll give you 2 minutes to explain yourself. And if I am satisfied, I'll let you out the safe way.
And if you're not?
I'll have you arrested at once.
Oh, so you keep a policeman on the premises?
I do not.
Perhaps it was the policeman I heard you talking to when I knocked on your door.
I was talking to no one.
I heard your voice and another.
Nonsense. I was working some calculations out loud, a habit of mine.
I don't believe you.
What?
I simply do not believe you.
Confound you, man. Do I have to justify myself to a vagabond who invades my premises? Now state your business, if any, and keep to the point. And remove that mask.
Why?
Because I demand it.
That's nothing in my young life. Now listen, Pirbright. You've asked my business. I'll tell you that in good time. But for my own safety, I have to know who is in this flat with you.
No one. I'm alone.
Let me remind you that I said just now I don't believe you. So produce him. Remember, I'm a fairly young and unusually strong sort of chap. You're a very much older man. I can use my strength mercilessly at times.
You threaten me.
I do. Oh, goodness, isn't this monotonous? Now, go and get your friend. In fact, I propose to come with you. So, move quickly.
Brute force doesn't always pay. But come if you wish and such.
I do wish.
This way. Just down this passage and see for yourself.
Hey, wait! What the devil's happened to the lights? Pirbright, you devil, where are you?
It's all right, just a temporary failure. They're on again. Now, continue the search if you must.
No. No, I don't think I will. I don't trust you, little man. This place has too much electricity for my liking. We'll go back to that other room. And no monkey tricks.
You seem to be in command. We will return.
We will. You go ahead. And don't play with switches. You feel that? Oh! That's just my hand on your shoulder. It hurts like that, doesn't it?
Please, please.
All right.
Well, now, as you appear satisfied, I'm prepared to continue the discussion. Perhaps you will now explain yourself. Sit down on my visitor's chair.
Thanks.
Oh! Oh! Yeah, he laughs best who laughs last. That chair is highly charged.
Switch the power off.
By no means. You're a strong man, you said? Well, you should be able to take a few volts. All right. Go on taking them. They won't kill you. Police? Yes. Pirbrights. Urgency call. Yes. A suspect.
And so Rolland Fletcher finds himself on the point of capture. But there always appears to be a way out somehow for the Grey Goose. I have been here. The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
What a spot to be in. In fact, a hot spot. You see, I was after some of the ill-gotten gains of one Edmund Pirbright, a Harshow manufacturer. With Barbara on the lookout, I managed to negotiate the electrical protection contrivances which guarded his extensive works, and made my way up to his flat over the said works. Eventually, he admitted me, and we commenced a wrangle. The longer I was with him, the more was I convinced something was screwy. Being bidden to sit down, I did so, only to find I was sitting in a highly charged electric chair. I suffered agony, while old Pirbright calmly telephoned the police.
Yes, you may well groan, but I'm afraid you must put up with the inconvenience. You see, my telephone call just now alerted an extremely efficient system of protection. The fencing round the works, which somehow you evaded, is now on full charge. Only the porter at the gate can cut the current.
Can't you reduce it a little?
Of course I can, from this little switch box. But, no, I think not. Mind you, I'd like to remove that mask of yours.
But you daren't. You'd get the shock, too.
I think I'll risk that. I also have some rubber gloves like yourself. Sitting as you are, my friend, only a pair of rubber pants could have saved you from that very painful chair. Do you hear that? That's the arrival of the police and special guards. It will not be long before I will have the means of getting out of you the truth. In the meantime, having got my rubber gloves on, permit me to remove the mask. Here, what the devil's happened? Here, lights! Lights up! Bless my soul! A power failure!
And so, my old tortoise, comes my chance.
Help, someone! Help! There's a thief in my room! Hurry, I say! Hurry! Help! Quick, send someone up here! Help!
Rolly!
What? You, Barbara? How in heaven's
Don't
name?
wait, too dangerous. Come on, explain later. For heaven's sake, come on, the place is alive with police and watchmen.
Good, then let's hop it.
Well, we got away. But that was a very close call, Rolly.
Close? My dear girl, it appears you got me out of this fix. My hat, I'll never forget that electric chair of his.
It must have been awful.
It was unmitigated hell. But tell me, how the dickens did you arrive when you did? And what caused the power failure just in the nick of time?
Well, you remember the night watchman who wouldn't let us in?
Well, of course.
After you bolted that gate, I had a bit of a brainwave. I thought if this electric protection is so very comprehensive, you might have a job to leave in a hurry.
Which, as it happens, was a very good guess, too.
So I rang the bell again, and, as when you were there, the night watchman called out. Even then I wasn't quite certain what I was going to do or say. However, I happened to sight, close by the door, a roster of names.
Duty men?
Yes.
Ah.
And at this hour, for a spell of 4 hours, was William Gold. So I became a little gold digger and dug for gold, William. Eventually, he fell a little and opened the door to get a good look at me.
I'll refrain from asking what words you used to dig with.
Well, it wasn't just abracadabra.
Go on, hussy.
When he did open the door, I realized he was in what might be called a control room of sorts. Switches all over the place. But of course I couldn't get 1 foot over the threshold. However, he got a little bold with a little encouragement from me. Meantime, I'd spotted a very big switch low down, so I fainted. And the brute let me fall. And I kicked out on that bottom switch and managed the blackout. Then I scrammed.
And chased up after me. My girl, if I had a Victoria Cross, I'd willingly hand it over to you.
Thanks. Rolly, the job seems to me just about impossible. What about it?
There's this about it. I suffered tortures in that chair, and dangerous or not, I'm going all out after our friend Edmund Pirbright.
What did you find out?
Nothing much. We spent a long time talking. I kept him at it so as to get a good look at him, and his precious flat. And do you know something, my girl? He's a man that talks to himself.
That's quite a habit with some people.
Well, I don't know of any people who say to themselves, get a move on quick, and then say back to themselves, I'll be in the back room.
Then he had company.
He said no. That flat only has 2 rooms and a kitchen, and I didn't see anyone.
Mysterious?
So mysterious that I'm going back to explore that flat in the daytime.
I think you're crazy.
Maybe, but I just can't forget that hot seat. Tomorrow, I don some workman's dungarees, and I insinuate myself onto the mechanical staff of the Pirbright workshops. Punch 59 for me, mate, will you?
59? Why, that's Jim Dakin's number.
Of course it is. He's legging it today, exercising a couple of dogs. I'm doing his shift for him, but mum's the word. I'll let you know in good time for Saturday night. I'll tell Jim to look you up. What's your name?
Mike Donnelly. And don't forget to tell Jim. I'll slip his in with mine, quick like. Here's your medal. Now scram before the gatekeeper gets wise.
Thanks. Scram, he says. And how? And now for the back stairs. No electrics on, apparently. Good. Everything made to order. Well, here goes.
Well, what do you want?
Excuse me, sir. Foreman Electric sent me up.
Why?
He told me there was a couple of blackouts last night. I'm to check circuits in your flat. Won't take long, sir.
Very well, check and be quick about it. Incidentally, such things as happened last night will not happen again. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
And another thing. I expect my workmen to be clean-shaven at this hour of the morning. Not reporting in my quarters with unshaven chins and grease all over them.
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I'll remember.
All right. Get on with your job and be snappy about it. And when you've checked, come back to the workshop and tell your foreman to come to my office.
Yes, sir.
And close the door after you. Now I'm going down.
Right, sir.
Oh, confound you! What's your damnable hurry? Do you know, you clumsy fool, you jammed my fingers in that door?
Did I, sir? My word, I'm sorry, sir. Excuse me. I carry a little plaster around with me always. Can I offer you
That's
one?
the least you can do.
Right. Now then. Now, that'll fix it, sir, in no time. Maybe the nail will turn a bit black.
Shut up and get on with your job. And don't forget what I've told you.
No, sir.
And I'll shut the door myself this time.
Well, I wish it had amputated the old devil's fingers. Now for it. Desk first, I think. There must be something I can lay my hands on. That man's a crook, or I'm much mistaken. And who was he talking to last night? And where did the other bloke go to? Aha. Small tracings. Very intricate bits of diagrams. Oh, confound it. The text is all in foreign characters. Now, why? I think I'll pocket these for a start. Now to explore the flat and see where our friend's friend went. Solid as a rock. Wait on. I think I've got it. Must be a contact switch somewhere. Now think, man, think. Well, I'm dashed. A piece of revolving wall like my own. Try it. So that's it. While we were skirmishing round last night, Mr. Pirbright's friend was dodging in and out through this. Ah. All right. Close it up and clear. Oh, God bless my soul. Wonder how Jim Dakin number 59's getting on. Now do I wish it was dark. I daren't try the main gate. The gatekeeper will pounce on me like one thing. Hello. Here comes his cantankerous majesty. Finished, sir. All in order.
Finish what?
The inspection, sir.
What inspection? What the devil are you lounging about the yard for?
Yes, sir. Just on my way to report to the foreman.
Well, get a move on and don't waste time yapping.
I hope the finger isn't paining now, sir.
What the devil do you... Here, look, you get about your job, and next time you wish to speak to your managing director, do it through your shop steward. Now, be off with you.
A darned unpleasant body, that, if ever I saw one. Oh, my sainted aunt. Well, what do you know? However, that can wait. Now, how do I get out? Lord knows. I'm a very cooked goose if number 59 Jim Dakin has created a fuss. Lunchtime. Might sneak through with them. It's the only way. Now here goes for the sprint of my life.
Hey! Stop that man! Stop him!
Where is he?
Hey! After him, quick!
My, but where the devil do I find a hole in the road?
Ronnie, here!
Barbara, by the living jingo.
Jump in, quick!
Home, James. This is not my car, surely.
I'm not dumb. I pinched this one. We dump it after we've gone a mile or two. Better get those engineer studs off quickly.
Yes, of course. Can you see any of the hounds?
Not now we've shaken them off.
Good. And this is where we change and then leave this car.
Too true.
I'll leave the overalls in the car as a present for the owner.
We'll walk a little way to our car.
Let's hurry, and I mean hurry.
You seem to know something about hurrying. That sprint of yours was up to Olympic standards.
Yes, wasn't it?
Yes, in the three-legged class.
Now, grateful as I am, how was it you were on the spot?
Simple. A daylight job like the one you attempted was almost certain of exposure. So I anticipated you'd have to make a run for it. So I stood by for about 2 hours.
In a stolen car? My hat.
It came off, didn't it?
Yes, it came off.
Now, here's our car. It's safe to get in now. And on the way you can tell me how you got on. Tell me all about the man who talks to himself.
I don't know much of that gentleman yet, but I helped myself to some tracings and papers that I'm going to examine as soon as I get home.
Any idea what they're about?
Only a glimmering. But, my dear girl, listen. There's something very rotten in that outfit of Pirbright. Yes, very rotten. And I'll be onto it very soon.
Will it do us any good?
Any good? It'll reap us a harvest. And it will, I think, enable you to cross off another name from your list. And...
Well, go on.
Barbara, listen to this. Have you ever seen a man howl with pain through getting his fingers stuck in a door and yet doesn't know he's done it?
Obviously, Rolland Fletcher has caught on to something. But we'll have to wait and see what, as we follow the next development in this adventure of the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Old millionaire engineer Edmund Purbright adds to his millions by winning a football pool of £45,000. Disgusting, in my opinion. Hence, I get very active. Raiding his flat twice, I managed to accumulate a few facts. And I think I've stumbled onto something hot. Real chutney. Purbright is a manufacturer of precision engineering parts, the workshops being under government supervision. I find some tracings of machine parts, and then, having escaped from the works by the skin of my teeth, I settle down to study the tracings with Barbara. Well, the drawings are clear enough, but why the strange language describing them?
Looks like Russian, doesn't it?
No, it's not Russian. I remember the Volga boat song. You know, goes, I-U-K-N-M, which means pull, brothers, pull.
Oh, is that all the Russian you know?
Yes, I think so. A droshky and Neva Prospect. Yes, I think that's the end of my vocabulary. You know something?
No. Go on. You obviously do.
Yes, much. These plans are for a foreign power. Don't forget the inverted commas. A, F-O-R-E-I-G-N-P-O-W-E-R. What does that spell to you?
A foreign power.
Oh, ye gods and little fishes. That is not the right answer, quiz kid. It means that the reputable British firm of Edmund Purbright is making goods, precision parts, for someone else. How do you spell someone else?
S-O-M-E.
Shut up. Someone else reduced alphabetically and politically. Politically, mark you, means enemy. Now, don't spell enemy R-E-D, because I know.
Aren't you just marvellous?
I have press notices and Grey Goose feathers to prove it.
So, you've put your finger on things.
Don't wake up matters painful. I put more than my finger on Mr. Edmund Purbright's electrified chair.
Oh.
However, let's proceed. Mr. Purbright is obviously a traitor, manufacturing, under the lap of his legitimate business, parts for enemy purchase. Such parts being inimical to the peace of all of us.
All of us?
The United Nations. Thus, we further pursue our investigations into the factory of Mr. Edmund Purbright, Mr. P himself, and all his doings.
Twice you've escaped by the skin of your teeth. Aren't you being fortune's fool too often?
No, I think not. Somehow I'll get Mr. P where I want him. You know, Barbara, I had a brainwave today.
I know you're going to tell me, so carry on.
I smashed old Thingham's fingers in the door today. I even bound his fingers up, but I've already mentioned this.
Go on, nevertheless.
Right. Well, disguised in dungarees and a dirty face, I met him in the engineer's yard. Asked after his hand, and he didn't seem to be bothered about it a bit. Just bawled me out for daring to speak to the managing director.
Well, he may be a hard case.
Maybe he is. But there's more to it than that. Now, as for these tracings, I've got a pal at security headquarters. I'm taking them to him to try and elucidate the mystery of the language used. But just before I go, have a look at this newspaper cutting.
A picture. Good heavens.
That photograph is of a meeting of directors of a huge engineering concern in Budapest.
I can see that.
But look at the old gentleman being toasted.
It's old Purbright himself.
It is.
But it's last week's paper.
Mm-hmm.
Can't understand the print, but the date's obvious.
Of course. Even I can see that. So what? Old man Purbright was consorting with the directors of an unfriendly power 5 days ago in Budapest. Strange, ain't it?
Well, that's all I can tell you, Fletcher.
Ah.
Language is a description of the parts, mixture of Russian, Croat, and what have you.
Right. And the descriptions, what do they describe?
Warheads for torpedoes, underwater guided missiles. Almost, I think, with certain modifications and improvements. Copies of one of our most closely guarded secrets. Now look, Fletcher, how you obtained these tracings I'm not going to ask, but they're dynamite. My advice to you is leave them here and let me put the security blokes onto the job.
That's exactly what I intend doing. In 24 hours.
But you daren't wait.
I've got the whole thing worked out, Cardigan. And you'll ruin your own chances if you interfere. Just yet. I'll guarantee to give you the whole story and even hand over the culprit himself. I tell you, man, I know the works. Now, just hold your hand.
I'll probably be hung, drawn, and quartered if anything goes wrong.
Believe me, it won't. Now, 24 hours. You see, I know so much that if you don't give me that leeway, I'll just fail to bring these people to book. And I can tell you people, you'll get nowhere without one piece of information that I possess. That is also yours in 24 hours.
All right. It's a deal.
Good. Now, I'm just going to communicate with an old friend of ours.
Who's that?
The Grey Goose.
What? Good heavens, don't tell me you know him. Why, man, that man's wanted above anyone else. Do you mean to say that...
Of course not. Don't jump to conclusions, Cardigan. Whatever might be said about the Grey Goose, I'm confident he's no traitor. Now, I've watched the press very carefully, and I'm certain that given a hint through an agony column power, he'll take action.
Well, I don't like it, Fletcher, and that's straight. This Grey Goose chap is wanted, and wanted badly by the police. We can't ally ourselves with a miscreant.
You don't have to. Let me handle it. Look, man, there are grave issues at stake. Stern necessity requires stern measures. So just shut up and give me my 24 hours.
All right. I said, you know what, Fletcher?
No, what?
I wish you were the Grey Goose himself.
Good heavens, why?
I'd have a good excuse for handing you over to the police. You see, I'd rather get you out of my hair. You've got me terribly worried. These tracings and whatnot, Oh, well. 24 hours.
Now, quiet, Barbara. We've got to negotiate the electric gate again. You just keep watch down here while I go and see the old man. This time, it's the Grey Goose calling.
Do you think you were wise to see that man at security?
I think so. The fact is, if anything goes wrong, I'll have a bit of their support. They'll know I was trying to be honest. For once.
Well, take care.
I will. So, once more, the old rubber gloves and galoshes to get me over the electric gate. So long. Wait at the car for me. Well, let's fix the door in case he doesn't want to let me in. Wires cut. Yes, I think so. Now for it.
Who's there?
A friend. Can I come in?
Certainly not. I'm busy. And I can't imagine a friend calling at this hour.
Not too busy, I hope, to see a friend from Budapest.
What? Buddha, you said?
Exactly. Buddha.
Come in and be careful.
Secrecy, my friend, secrecy. Not some of the time, but all of the time. Permit me to switch off the light. Thank you. It is better so, Mr. Pirbright. My government permitted me to come only on the understanding that we should be most circumspect in the keeping of identities, a most close secret. You agree?
Of course, of course. But what the devil brings you over here?
Patience, my dear sir, and I will explain. 5 days ago, we had a meeting in Budapest. You remember, of course.
Yes, of course.
And it was at that meeting you promised us some diagrams and specifications. 5 days ago, eh?
Yes, I did, but...
But what, my dear sir?
Well, the fact is, the plans of those parts are missing.
Missing? Do you dare to tell me that?
I'm
Missing? Or have you, my friend, received our money, 100,000 of your English pounds, on a pretense of a fraud?
The plans are stolen. I tell you, I'm at my wit's end. Someone raided this flat and purloined them.
I see. I really do see. Mr. Pirbright, I begin to see other things. Did you or did you not promise delivery of those machine parts drawings or not?
I did.
And we honored you. Look, here's a cutting from our journal. It is a picture of our members, and look, you, the honored guest. Look closely, sir. I forgot. The light. Permit me. The desk light, a moment.
Yes, I see. That's me.
Or is it you? Think. Think hard, my dear Mr. Pirbright. Is that you?
Yes, that is me.
Good. I was not too certain. Now we can dispense with the light.
Who else could it be?
That even I couldn't tell you. However, the fact is the bargain has not been kept. We require our money back.
That's ridiculous.
How so ridiculous?
Well, I've put in extra machinery. The job itself is all tooled up. We are even in production. Each part is constructed by a single mechanic who doesn't even know what it's for. The final assembly will be in your country.
How do we know that?
I give you my word.
Better still, my friend, you will give me your check.
What?
Your check for half the amount we have paid you.
But look...
When the plans reappear, you will be repaid. Isn't that fair? Come, my friend, the check.
Oh, very well.
I was just thinking, should those plans and specifications have fallen into the wrong hands, what then, my friend?
For heaven's sake, why torture me? I have ways and means of finding them. I have special staff all on the track.
For your sake, I hope they succeed. Otherwise, there will be another check required for the balance, £50,000. Which reminds me, you can't write in the dark. The desk lamp again, eh? So. Oh, make it out to cash.
Oh, very well.
Yes, like letting out one's blood, eh? Just endorse it to be paid on demand.
Damn you.
Just before I leave, I presume you have a communicating door between you and the works?
Yes, of course. And here's your check.
Thank you. And now I wish you to lead me to that section of your works in which are carried out these very secret processes.
I don't see what...
Please, remember, Mr. Pirbright, you may be able to save £50,000.
All right. Come on. Down these steps.
Who's there?
It's all right, Watchman. It's Mr. Pirbright.
Let's have a look. Blimey, it's the boss himself.
Quite right, and I'm glad you're on the alert. All right, you can go.
Yes, sir.
Now here, these machines are all tooled up for the job in hand. There's a screen between each so that no man on the machine can see the operations of his neighbour.
Very wise precautions. Carry on.
Then the parts are collected from the bins. They're not assembled, but packed in separate cases and dispatched for assembly in your country.
A lovely little scheme, Pirbright, you piece of dirt. Oh! Out to it, eh? And I hope with that black eye I'll be able to sort you out, you scum.
And now, as Fletcher nears the truth, so I think do we. But we'll hear all of it in the next episode of The Grey Goose. I have been here. The Grey Goose. Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Pirbright's 10 million factory came directly under suspicion as far as I was concerned. After a couple of mishits, as it were, I found myself impersonating an envoy of a foreign power. In my interview with old Edmund Pirbright, I learned much. He'd accepted a contract for £100,000 for precision bits of a war weapon. As I'd already purloined his plans and specifications, they didn't arrive, and his friend, the enemy, as represented by myself, asked for a rebate of £50,000. My hat, how I cherished the cheque he wrote. Then we visited the special workshops, and having learned all I could, I just smacked him down. Sorry to punch an old guy like you, Pirbright, but I've got to do it. I must have a moment to myself among these very lovely pieces of machinery. Now, a piece of cable here, then to this light socket. Now the gelignite and the detonators. So, one here, I think, one there, and last of all, one here. Now, let's make sure I'm connected. Yes, a good job. Come on, Father, snap out of it. I'm carrying you back to your flat. Up, sit easy.
in, but I am busy. No time to talk much.
Now, isn't that just wonderful? I've just knocked Pirbright out, got a fireman's lift on him, and he politely, more or less, says, "Come in." I don't get it. Or do I?
What the devil's the delay? Come in.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you.
Must put the body down.
Well, who are you? What do you want?
Good evening, Mr. Pirbright. Permit me just to mention I am from Budapest.
Budapest?
Exactly. Excuse me, I find so much light a little trying. You see, we are far from satisfied, and thus I have, at considerable inconvenience, come over to find out why our specifications and drawings are not forthcoming.
They will be sent, have no fear. In fact, they're all prepared. I had them in this desk at the moment.
Get them. I will return with them.
No reason at all why you shouldn't. They're just here in this secret drawer. Good heavens! Confounded, they're not here. Good Lord, stolen! Just wait. Perhaps our chief draftsman has already forwarded them.
Nonsense, Mr. Pirbright. I know they have been stolen.
Nonsense, how could you know?
Because, my dear Pirbright, I took an opportunity that offered and purloined them myself.
You... Oh, well, that's most happy, isn't it, eh? Yeah, they're in the right hands, what?
You never said a truer word, my dear Mr. Pirbright. They are in the right hands. Oh, and talking of hands, I was informed you'd had quite an accident. Caught in some machinery, they tell me.
Oh, rubbish. Just a nasty door jam. Nothing to worry about.
I'm so glad. You also had collected a black eye as well, I was informed.
Your informant was being ridiculous. I have not a black eye.
And even in this dim light, I can see that. Now, let us probe further into the affairs of Mr. Pirbright, who has smashed fingers and a black eye.
I am utterly at a loss.
But not for long, I hope. Permit me to open the door.
What are you going to do?
Open the door. Didn't you hear me? So, he's only a little man, like yourself. How very like. But I think I can drag him in. Now, Mr. Pirbright, allow me to introduce you to Mr. Pirbright.
Gott in Himmel!
Ha! Didn't someone once say, his speech bewrayeth him? So, Pirbright, you are a German. Correct me if I'm wrong. Pirbright is two Germans, identical twins.
Heinrich, pull yourself together. Come, speak to me. He's dead. You have killed him.
Oh, not a bit of it. He's unconscious. A smack on the temple, I fear, and, mark you, a rapidly blackening eye. Thus, just to balance the ledger, Mr. Pirbright has crushed fingers and also a black eye. Remarkable.
You are not an emissary from Budapest?
No, just a patriotic fool of an Englishman who's tumbled onto your little double-cross. The double identity of Mr. Pirbright.
My friend, beware. You have, as you say, tumbled on a very precious secret. It must mean only one thing.
Yes?
Death.
Rubbish. Just now I said two of you. Somehow that dual identity... those double identities have built up in this country a grand and well-respected organization. It has done great work for this country.
And do you think we are going to allow an independent interloper like yourself to ruin that organization?
Let me finish. Why, having achieved so much, do you make a deal with rats?
You are guessing.
No. Look, turn your desk lamp onto this picture. There, my fine friend, is your good self in conference with enemies of my country. You, or this unconscious twin of yours.
Where did you get this?
It was printed in a foreign paper. I collected it at the time I collected the plans and specifications.
You know too much, my friend. You will not get out of here alive to tell your tale.
How's that?
One touch of my finger on this button here will set the whole alarm system of these works in action. And how do you like that, my friend?
I do not care for it a bit, because one touch on that button will do a devil of a lot more than that.
What do you mean?
Just what I say. Now, come away from that button.
Why should I? You are an interloper, a confessed burglar. This alarm will bring police and guards in a matter of minutes.
Just excuse me a moment while I turn my back.
Now.
Huh. The mask. Who are you? You're not an old man.
Quite right, Pirbright. I'm not a gentleman old man at all. And I'm warning you to stay put. Touch that button and you'll be very, very sorry. You threatened me with death just now. Let me tell you that death is on your heels now. So near, my friend. Gosh, how near. Now, I've had enough. Kindly come with me to your door and bid me a fond farewell.
I will do no such thing.
You will? Now!
Oh, my heaven. Don't. Don't, you're strangling me.
How very true. Are you going to see me off?
Yes.
The safe way, mind you. And no shenanigans, no electric tricks.
Oh, all right. All right. But what of our secret? My brothers and mine.
It's safe with me as long as the firm of Pirbright continues British manufacture for the British, and not for the enemies of Britain.
All right. It's a bargain.
I wonder, can I trust you?
Yes, you may. Well, now you are safe. There are no traps. Please go.
Thank you. Well, that's that. But the old fox didn't show me out at the last gate. He's up to something, I'll be bound. My hat! He's maybe gone back to start up that alarm. God help him if he has. Yes, the darn old fool! Once again, I must, from later reports, try to reconstruct a scene that took place between two old friends of mine, Cardigan of the security branch and Inspector Ford.
So Fletcher gave you those specifications and drawings?
He did. We've had the wording transcribed into English, and my hat, we've just been saved from a very dangerous piece of espionage and treachery, thanks to the said Fletcher. Maker's name and everything, the designer himself, are on the plans. Guess who?
I don't want to guess. It was Pirbright.
A staunch British firm, we thought.
Manufacturing enemy weapons in one wing.
That wing was blown sky high.
Any idea where Fletcher is now?
No, I rang up his flat several times. He's apparently away.
Oh, is he?
You know, Ford, when he came to see me, he said a very remarkable thing.
Oh, he did he?
Yes. He said he knew how to communicate with this Grey Goose chappie.
What?
Yes, and that he was certain the Grey Goose would do something about those plans and whatnots.
So he said that.
What are you thinking?
Eh? Oh, no, nothing much. Anything else?
Oh, yes. We received an envelope this morning containing this.
Check for 50,000. Bearer, cash payment on demand, Edmund Pirbright.
There's a letter, too. It says, "Please hand to United Nations to be devoted to the orphans of the last war."
Go on, Cardigan. There's more, I'm certain.
Yes. It's signed, the Grey Goose.
Lay you 10 to 1, there's a feather in the envelope.
Why, by Jove, yes. Very ordinary-looking thing.
Ordinary? It's a damn Grey Goose feather.
Now then, Rowley, explain everything.
Oh, it's easy. A piece of cake, really. Pirbright was of foreign extraction and had a twin. Actually, they were so identical no one could possibly separate them. Then they went wrong. Cupidity led them into making stuff for overseas enemies at huge profits.
How did you get on to the double business?
I made inquiries and learned that Pirbright was never known to leave the scene of his labors. Yet I came across a picture of him taken in Budapest.
Proof enough.
But more. When I was pretending to be an electrician, I, quite by accident, slammed the door on his fingers. A really bad crush it was. 1 hour later, I met him in the workshop yard, and he didn't register when I asked him how his hand was. I noticed it wasn't even bound up.
And the explosion, so timely?
Well, he caused that himself.
Really?
In a way, yes. I'd wired that enemy wing, as I call it, to the electric circuit, meaning to blow it myself at a convenient moment and destroy the special machine tools.
Well, how did it happen otherwise?
He escorted me off the premises after assuring me he would not press a certain button, which would sound the factory alarm.
And he did?
He did, and so set off the general circuit, which, as I designed, blew his enemy wing to bits. Also, himself and his twin.
Just like that.
Yes, just like that.
Have a drink, Rowley?
Yes, of course.
Drink to this. So perish all traitors.
By Jove, yes. So perish all traitors.
And with that achievement to his credit and a gift of £50,000 to the children of the United Nations, we would think Rolland Fletcher would cease his relentless crusade. But no, there is more excitement yet in store for the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
My role as the Grey Goose was intended by me to right a few wrongs, pillage a little here and there, and acquire a few pickings for myself. It was Scotland Yard who christened me the Grey Goose, by reason of that little vanity of mine, the Grey Goose feather, which from time to time I bestow on my victims. One day, I'm told, it'll be the means of making my head roll in the dust. However, not for a while, I trust, in spite of that shrewd merchant, Inspector Ford. Well, away with doubts, and let me tell you how I stuck my neck out again and got involved in another brawl. I'd been down to the docks to see a friend off. His boat didn't leave till 11 p.m. Thus I found myself wandering over ropes, tar barrels, and all the paraphernalia of wharves.
Help! Help!
What the deuce? Some poor...
I'm drowning!
Don't they keep a lifeboat in these parts?
Help! Help!
Oh, now, this is a great pity. I'm wearing my newest suit. All right, sonny boy. Be with you in a moment. Keep calling. Can't see a thing. Use your voice, man.
Over here! More to your right! Hurry! Hurry!
Don't panic. Just try and keep yourself afloat.
Thanks, mate! But hurry! Hurry! I cannot swim!
There. Got you. Now, turn over on your back and don't grab me, idiot. I'll do the grabbing. So, not far to go now. Help with your hands and kick out with your legs. That's the idea.
Thanks, mate.
You can pin the decorations on when we get up to the wharf steps. Here we are. Now, heave, man. Heave.
I cannot use my hands.
Numb, eh? No wonder. Not the ideal night for a dip in the Thames. Now we've made it. Now what?
I reckon you saved my life. Name's Burns. Thank you. You see, I couldn't swim.
Well, surely you could have paddled a matter of 20 or 30 yards.
Not like this. Bend your head down and take a look.
Ye gods. Chains round your wrists.
And ankles, too. Look here, I wasn't out there taking a bath. I was chained up like this and chucked in the drink.
My. No wonder you can't swim. What's the story?
Let that wait. Now, can't you get these chains off me? This spot isn't healthy. They must have heard me yelling and probably even heard you calling out to me.
Whoever they are, seems they're not the sort of people I'd like to meet. So let's see if we can do anything with these chains.
And then we'll beat it like Billy-O. Lots of places round these wharves we can hide out in. Look, can you hurry a bit?
I'm doing my best. I'm pretty skillfully snarled.
Yes, the seaman did it. Can tie knots even in chains.
Almost here now. Puzzle to me is you didn't sink at once.
Well, actually, I'm a very strong swimmer and kept afloat for about 10 minutes. Then I started to go down and I yelled. Thank heavens you heard me.
All right. That's a lot. Now you suggest we run.
We do. You follow me. I know these wharves like the back of my hand. Come on.
Well, don't lag too far behind. Trying not to, but I can't see what I'm running into in this dark.
Of course you can't, friend, and you've run into this.
Got him well tied up.
Yes, can't move an inch. Better chuck him in the drink.
No, not yet. We've got to find out something about him.
It looks as if he pulled Burns out.
Obviously did. Pity we were just a bit too late to catch Burns. You may have had a chance to talk to this one.
We've got to catch Burns, but he'll keep. Is this fella getting conscious, do you think? Groaned just now.
Can you hear me?
Hear you. Chains, water.
It's coming to, Lomax.
Oh, my head. Chains.
Listen, you. Talk.
Yes. Burns.
Get that pannikin of water. That's it. Chuck it over.
What the devil? Hello? Who are you?
So you've come too, have you?
I don't really know. Rather mysterious. Where am I?
You're in a disused store on the wharf, if that's any interest to you. But you'll never have a chance to see the exact location. Because from here, my interesting friend, you go into the drink.
It's very disconcerting, I must say, but may I ask why?
What did Burns tell you?
Nothing. You see, he hadn't time. Apparently, he found it good policy to run away. He invited me to do likewise, which I did. Then, apparently, I went to sleep.
You certainly did, my friend. You'd taken a little too much of this.
Some blackjack.
Exactly.
Now I know why I've got such a headache.
Who are you?
I seem to be tied up, or I'd get out my wallet and present you with my card.
Don't bother, we've got your wallet. What's your name?
Fletcher.
Yeah, that's what the card says. Now, what were you doing on the wharf?
Seeing a friend off in a ship.
What? From one of these little piers?
That's it. Little ship, little pier.
Don't use cheek. Now, careful. What did Burns tell you?
He told me nothing. No time.
Answer! 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 Answer!
All right. He's out again. Stow him in that corner. We've got to search for and find Burns if it takes us all night.
Answer. Answer. Oh, Lord, what have I run into now? And where the devil am I? Oh, ye got my head. Pitch dark, stink of tar. Ah, yes, someone said I was in a store on the wharf. But why? Two men. What were their names? Lomax. That's right. What did he call the other? Oh, think, man, think. Kit something. Kitty, puss. Hey, wait on. I'm going off my rocker. Well, if ever I get out of this, which I doubt, I'll have the hides off those very nasty...
Hello? Are you in there?
Who's that?
Ah, so you are in there. I thought they might have bumped you off.
Not yet. They've gone looking for you, I expect. Or I seem to have heard them say so. Can you get me out?
Aye, I can. They've padlocked the big door, but there's a side flap they forgot about. Now, hang on. One good turn deserves another. That's got it. Now, where are you?
Here. And that's my face you nearly trod on.
Oh, sorry. You're well tied up, too. That's Lomax's work. Expert. All right. My jackknife will soon fix these ropes. That's got it.
Thanks.
You think you can walk?
I think I can try. Ooh, stiff as a board.
Stiff or not, you've got to move and move fast.
Thanks for coming back.
Least I could do. Matter of fact, I saw you go down. Lomax cost you. I thought I'd better to carry on and see how the wind blew later.
Jolly good thing you did. Oh, my hat. I'd like to get out of these wet clothes.
We'll fix that in 5 minutes. There's a place not far from here where I sometimes stay when I'm in port. The girlfriend and her mother keep it. We'll go there.
I wish I knew what all this was about.
No time now. I'll tell you when we're both berthed and tucked in.
Well, now, Burns, we are warm and fed thanks to that nice little girl of yours. Now, what's behind all this?
Oh, well, Mr. Fletcher, it's a bit of a long story, but I'll cut it down where I can.
You're a Navy man?
Yes, engineer these days. But I was in the Royal Navy during the war. As a matter of fact, I was on special detail.
Oh, really? Well, can I ask what special detail?
Yes, you can. I was a frogman.
Great Scott.
I told you I could swim, didn't I? But I'd never tried it with about 30 or 40 pounds of iron chains wound around my arms and legs like tonight. Well, when I was discharged, I got my engineer's ticket and went looking for a ship. I was rather taken by an ad in a paper, wanted, marine engineer about 30. A small private craft, 1,000 tons. Owner, work watches about with successful applicant.
So you applied?
Well, that's it. And quite a nice little craft she is, too. A fortune finder, they call her.
By they, you mean Lomax and...
Kitson.
Kitson, thanks. Lomax and Kitson. I'll never forget those names.
Nor me. However, the job was cushy. Mediterranean ports, back and forth to England. 6 months this went on, and everything seemed above board. Then, 2 days ago, we dropped anchor in the estuary. I don't know why, but we did, just off Westcliff-on-Sea. It was a very warm day, and I decided to have a dip overboard. I was just about to take off from the rail when...
What the devil do you think you're doing, Burns?
Going overboard for a swim, Mr. Lomax.
You'll do no such thing.
Oh, but surely I won't be doing any harm. I'm hot, and the water looks fine. Why don't you join me?
Get down off that rail and go ashore for a swim if you must.
Mr. Lomax, it's not my watch below in the engine room, so I'm pleasing myself. I'll see you when I come up. If you like, you can sack me.
Come out at once, Burns. Look, I've got a gun. As sure as you disobey me, I'll loose off at you.
Don't you dare do that, Mr. Lomax. That's murder.
I mean it.
In that case, I'm going to dive under the hull where you can't see me.
Don't you dare. If you do, you'll have to come up before long, and I'll get you then. I mean it, Burns.
Well, I did dive under the hull. Having been a frogman, as I told you, Mr. Fletcher, that was easy. However, I naturally had to come up again. And there was Lomax and Kitson in the pinnace, waiting for me. Crack went the bolt hook on my skull, and before I knew it, they'd hauled me over the side almost unconscious, and then they chained me up as you found me.
It's a far cry up the river from Westcliff-on-Sea to the Pool of London docks.
Yes, they must have up-anchored and steamed up here. Well, when we were at anchor again, they came to my cabin and without a word took me up on deck and heaved me overboard.
Great Caesar. A nice sort of gentleman indeed. Now, what's it all mean? Why guns, chains, and drownings? My word, man, you shouldn't be alive.
I know the reason, Mr. Fletcher, and here it is. In my cabin, I had some old service photographs. There was a group of us training as frogmen. Lomax must have seen it and suddenly panicked when I went to dive under the ship. Frogmen can use their eyes quite well under the water, you know.
But what did you see that he didn't want you to see?
I'll tell you.
No! Holy Moses! He's hit!
And so we enter on another exciting adventure.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
And there I went again. Saw a friend off in a little island steamer, pulled a chap out of the drink at 11 p.m., only to find he was wreathed in chains. Then he told me he was chucked overboard from a small 1,000-tonner, fortune finder, owned by a nice pair of assassins called Lomax and Kitson. After a very unpleasant night, chased by the said assassins, we found sanctuary with this engineer chap's girlfriend, Nancy. His name was Burns, by the way, and apparently he was a frogman in the war period. One day, he dived overboard from the fortune finder and swam under the hull. He was just about to tell me something of what he saw when a shot shattered the window of the cottage, and down he went. "You're hit, man. Duck under the windowsill. For heaven's sake, I'll douse the lights." So, listen, son. How bad is it?
Oh, not bad at all. Flesh wound through the muscle of my arm. No great damage done.
Good. I'll have a look at it when the air clears a bit.
Oh, Dick, what was the shooting? I heard it in the kitchen. Are you hurt?
Take it easy, Nancy, and bob down under the windowsill. There are some trigger-happy loons out there.
Oh, Dick, are you hurt?
Oh, yes, a wee bit, Nancy, but nothing serious. I can do till we get a light on the scene.
No hurry. That shot came from our friends Lomax and Kitson.
Yes. Must have heard what I was telling you.
You'd only got to the point where you dived under the hull of the fortune finder. You were about to tell me what you saw when, Bang went the gun.
It appears Lomax and Kitson trailed us after all.
Which is not so good. Do keep down, Nancy girl. He's not bleeding to death.
Sorry, sir, but
I understand perfectly, but with those jokers in this kind of mood, anything may happen. So take no risks. Anyone else in the house?
No, Mother's out. Staying with my sister until tomorrow morning.
My dear, it is tomorrow morning. Now, if you have any bandages, we'll fix up Dick Burns temporarily.
There's some old sheets in the kitchen cupboard. I'll go and get them.
All right, but don't put any lights on. Those gentry with the guns are not apparently very selective.
I'll be careful. See you in a moment.
Now, Burns, how do you feel?
Oh, not bad. They just nicked me. Bad shooting as far as I can guess.
All right, take it easy till Nancy gets back with the bandages.
I was just about to tell you what I saw when I dived into the hull of the fortune finder.
That's right. Then they shot at the psychological moment. I think we're safe now, though. The way you keeled over would make them think they'd killed you. Do you care to go on with your story?
Of course. Well, while I was down below, I had a good glimpse of the keel. And stuck beneath the waterline were limpets.
I get you. Steel limpets.
Yes, not the marine growth that a ship collects. Steel limpets. That's what we called them in the war. The frogmen used to attach the magnetized boxes or limpets to the hull of a ship. And when the setting clockwork inside reached the point, bang they went and hauled the ship.
But they wouldn't want to sink the fortune finder, surely.
No, I don't think so. Those limpets might not have had any explosive in them.
Then what?
They might have goods in them. Very small, of course.
Contraband.
That's right. Opium, cigarettes, perfume, anything.
Burns, I think you've got it. How many of these limpets did you see, roughly?
Oh, it could have been 100, maybe more.
My. Friend Burns, I'm very anxious to examine one of your limpets. The point is, how do we get one?
Well, if my arm isn't too bad, I'll put my frog outfit on and get one. What about it?
We'll have to wait until your arm is quite right.
What was that?
Only a door bang. My hat, that was Nancy. Confound us for a couple of damn fools. They've come in the back way and got the girl.
Help me, Fletcher. I'm going to start a bit of murder.
We've got the girl, Burns. We're taking her off to the ship. And if you and your pal care to follow and come aboard, we let the girl go. She says you're not hurt very badly. Well, what about it?
I'm coming, now.
Don't be an idiot. They'll shoot you down and Nancy will be no better off.
But I can't let them take Nancy just like that.
You can, and don't be a darned impulsive fool. It isn't Nancy they want, it's you, because of what they've discovered. And you, and possibly me, because by now they'll guess you've told me all you know.
All right, I'll go. And they'll let Nancy get away.
Of such stupid stuff are heroes made. Listen, friend Burns, even if you do go, and they bump you off and thus silence you, do you think they'll let the girl go, who'd have enough evidence to hang 'em for your murder? And possibly mine. Incidentally, the latter contingency doesn't appeal to me one little bit.
You're doing a lot of talking. I can only think of Nancy in the hands of those darn crooks.
And I'm thinking of her, too. That's why I'm advising you to let me handle this my way.
Very well. What's the scheme?
I have a particular friend at Scotland Yard.
Police? Well, they'll use up so much red tape in so much time that Lomax and Kitson will be at the North Pole before they can move.
No fear. Now listen, you young idiot. You've been shot at and wounded by two people we know. Ben Ford will be interested.
Who's he?
Inspector Ebenezer Ford. He and his men, acting on information received, will rally the water police to go aboard the jolly old schooner, lugger or what have you, and arrest our friends Lomax and Kitson on a shooting charge. Now, bide a wee, as my old French nanny used to say.
That's Scots. Remember, I'm Scottish. Bide a wee is not French.
I'm glad to see your IQ's working. Now, to get a bit of shut-eye and a rest. Come morning and we'll see Ben Ford.
But the girl, Nancy.
I tell you, she's in no danger yet. She's the bait to bring you aboard. Now, shut up. Now, there's the story, Ben. It's a shooting affair, and I'm hoping you're interested.
Oh, I am. Now, let me get it straight. You pulled this chap Burns out of the drink, all chained up and ready to drown.
Check.
Then 2 men chased you over the wharves and 1 cost you.
Oh, so true. I feel my bumps.
Then they took you to an old storehouse on the wharf and beat the blazes out of you.
The answer is nearly in the infirmary. Oh, sorry, Ben.
I accept your apology. I remember you cracking that one at the junior school concert 30 years ago.
Quite right. I wrote that script myself.
Righto, joke over. Then this bloke you'd rescued turned up and rescued you.
That's so. Stout fellow and all that.
Very plucky, I must say. Then he took you to a little house in Stepney, where his lady love nursed you back to health and strength in a matter of an hour or two.
Aided by some warm blankets, hot water bottles, and, a little rum.
Funny thing, Fletcher, this story is so queer that I begin to feel it's inspired by the rum.
Oh, that's your rotten joke. It makes me still one up on you. Now listen, Ben. This is the real Mackay.
All right. The boy Burns tells you a yarn, which you haven't yet repeated to me. Why?
Can we leave that just for a moment?
Not only for a moment. Then, at the psychological moment, just as he's going to tell you whodunit, Burns is shot. What did he tell you later?
That also is censored, Ben, old man. There's more in this than meets the eye. I assure you Burns was shot. Fortunately, not dangerously. But come along to the cottage with me and I'll prove it.
Lord help you, Fletcher, if this is a stunt. Go on, tell me more.
Thanks, Ben. I have a feeling that some of this is not exactly your department, but the shooting part is.
That most certainly is. Now go ahead.
All right. Now, with Burns, I'm going to follow a certain line of investigation.
You leave that to the police.
Definitely. But, Ben, you've been very skeptical about my story. So I'm asking you for a few hours' grace, after which I shall buzz you on the phone, and by the time you arrive with your cohorts, I shall hand you an apple pie.
I can't accept that, Fletcher.
All right. I'll have to work without you.
You can't do that. I won't permit it.
How can you stop me? I've done nothing. You don't know the scene of operations unless I tell you. So what?
All right. Seems I've no option. I'll give you 12 hours.
Shan't want 12 hours, much less than that. And at 0 hour, I shall ring you, which will mean action stations. Oh, well, Ben, you might incidentally warn customs at Stepney if they see anything untoward. Tell them to get a move on. Just bide a wee.
Yes, Inspector?
Tell Capel to follow the gentleman who's just left my room.
Very good, sir.
How is that kind, Ben?
What?
I shall not go further than your very shabby front hall. Sit down and muse all day if you carry out this idea.
Capel,
Yes, sir?
cancel that follow I just ordered.
Yes, sir.
And send for a carpenter. I want my door soundproofed. Satisfied, Fletcher?
Thank you, Inspector. Now, back to Nancy's cottage and Master Burns.
Who's that?
Fletcher, open up. Good heavens. What's the get-up?
Frogman kit. Always kept the outfit at Nancy's.
And what's the idea of wearing it in the house?
Listen, Mr. Fletcher. I've got a boat already, and I intend going under the fortune finder tonight. And I'll drag one of the limpets off her somehow.
It might be a good idea after all.
You row me out.
But what about your arm? Certainly I'll row you out, but I'm a bit worried about your arm. Anyway, don't you want to hear first how I got on at Scotland Yard?
Oh, my arm's all right. Nothing to it. What about Nancy?
Don't worry too much about her. My friend Inspector Ford is standing by, and on a word from me, he'll pounce. Nancy'll be all right. Now, shall we go? My heaven, I hope we don't meet anyone. You look gruesome.
Nearly there. When I go overboard, make for the stern and grab your hook onto the anchor chain.
Right. Say when.
About here, I think. Don't want to get too close in case there's one of them on watch. Backwater now. Yes, this'll do. Over I go. And don't forget, row astern.
Oh, my head. Too much splash, I fear.
Boat ahoy! Kitson, searchlight, quick. We've got visitors.
Right. Open fire if you have to.
I certainly will. My friend, we now have our searchlight right on you.
True, you have. Very disconcerting it is, too.
Companionway's down. Row towards it, please. Follow with the light, Kitson.
Got him like a moth in a candle flame. Come on, you.
I'd rather row under the stern, you know.
Come on, or else. Here's just a warning. Next time I fire, I'll sink you. Come aboard.
Under the circumstances, I'll accept the invitation.
What ship is that?
Police launch.
Fortune finder.
What's the shooting about? Someone ashore, I think.
All well with you?
All well. All very well, thanks.
It just seems impossible for Fletcher to keep out of trouble. However, there's always hope and a lot of guile in the heart of the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose. Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
My rescue of Dick Burns from the dock brought me uncomfortably into contact with Lomax and Kitson, owners of the little 1,000-ton motor ship Fortune Finder. Dick Burns had been employed as engineer aboard, but suddenly discovered, during a dip overboard, that the hull was studded with limpets. Not the harmless little shellfish, but steel ones, held on magnetically. Dick donned his frogman outfit, and I rowed him out for a look. He'd hardly gone over the side when a searchlight picked me up. Gunfire, dangerously close to my rowboat from Kitson and Lomax, and the beam of their searchlight made me accept their invitation to go aboard.
So, it's you again.
Again?
Don't stall, Clever Dick. You're the mug who pulled Burns out of the drink last night. You're the same one we caught up with and stored in that warehouse, tied up. How did you get away?
Put it down to my interest in Houdini when a boy.
Slap him down, Lomax. Don't take cheek. Listen, fella. Did you come alone out into the stream?
Well, you should know. You put the beam of your searchlight on my little skiff. Do I look like two?
This sort of smart talk's not getting us anywhere. So just settle down and give civil answers to civil questions. Where's Burns?
You ought to know. You stole up to his girlfriend's place tonight and shot him through the window.
So, he's still there?
Unless he's bulletproof. Yes, he's still there.
All right. Maybe you're telling the truth, but we'll soon check.
We will, too. Now listen, bright boy. Why did you come out into the stream in that boat?
Isn't that a bit of a curly question?
How?
Well, having shot my newly made friend, you kidnapped his girl. Brought her aboard. I heard you say that yourself. You added an invitation for Burns to come aboard after her. Well, as Burns was too badly hit to accept, I came. And I'd be much obliged if you'd be good enough to produce the young lady. After which I'll row ashore and bid you very nasty gentlemen good night.
As easy as that, is it? What do you take us for?
I've just told you. Very nasty gentlemen. But I was exaggerating. You are very, very nasty.
Shut up!
I shall remember that, Kitson. And being more or less of an honest man, I shall, when the time comes, add a little interest.
Don't kid yourself. The time won't come.
All right, all right. Let's cut out the cackle for now. What we've got to do is to find out where Burns is. If he's still at the cottage, wounded or not, we've got to bring him aboard before he can talk.
Right. I'll go ashore and see. Better lock this silver tongue in the cabin with the girl first.
Good. Now you just precede me down the hatchway, and remember I still have the gun. Get a move on. Lady, here's company for you. Get in, you.
I'll add that one on also, Lomax.
Shan't keep you very long. Just give my friend Kitson time to get ashore and back.
Are you there, Nancy? Keep your voice down.
Yes. So they got you too, Mr. Fletcher?
Yes, that's so. I rather gave them a piece of cake.
How's Dick?
Oh, not very badly hurt at all. In fact, I think he's so well that he'll sound action stations any minute now.
I heard a motorboat just now.
Yes. That was Kitson going ashore to try and find Dick at your place.
Oh, and him wounded?
Now, take it easy. Dick's not at your place at all.
Then where is he?
Well, I could give a guess, but I may be wrong. But as I said just now, he'll not be long in taking some action. In case, however, he's delayed, we've got to find some means of getting out of this cabin.
Mr. Fletcher, what are these men? What's it all about? Why shoot Dick and kidnap me?
All in good time. Now, can you swim?
Yes, I can.
Good. Maybe if I can get that porthole open, I could drop you out.
Oh, I could never get through. No, it's no good flattering myself. Oh, my heavens! Look! Look!
Hush!
Look!
Hush, for goodness sake.
But that ghastly thing staring through the glass.
That ghastly thing would be very annoyed with you if he could hear you.
But...
It's your Dick Burns, complete with frogman's mask and schnorkel. Come on, help me unscrew the porthole fixings. Right. Take off your face, Burns. You nearly scared 7 bells out of Nancy.
Oh, you look dreadful. Dick, how do you feel?
Oh, quite well, thanks. But a bit cold. So Kitson's gone ashore to find me, eh?
You heard?
Yes. When I dived, I saw a light in the water, so I came up again. Then one of them popped off a couple of shots.
That was to persuade me to come aboard. Well, then what?
Well, I hung onto the underside of the companionway and heard your argument.
Good. You know, things aren't as bad as they seem.
How so? I cannot get either of you out of this porthole, and Lomax is sitting outside the door with his 6-shooter on his lap.
Not very good, but still not very bad. You see, there's us in here and you outside. Incidentally, I can get out of this cabin any moment I like.
You can?
Yes. I have a faithful little gadget with me, made by a friend of mine, Charlie Austin. Very few locks are proof against it.
Well, then why not use it now?
And be shot down by Lomax.
Oh, aye, I forgot that.
There's another point, though. I don't want to leave this ship until I know more about those limpets of yours.
Why, of course. Listen, what say I go below now and prize one adrift?
Excellent idea.
I will be a moment. I'll chuck it through the porthole. So long.
Oh, I do wish I understood some of this.
You will, my dear. But for the moment, the less you know, the better. You see, should friends Lomax and Kitson try asking you questions, you won't be able to reply, which is very much to the good.
Oh, they might try twisting my arm or...
No. I hope they won't. But even then, you can't tell them anything.
You sound terribly callous.
Oh, my dear, I'm not really. Should either of those gentry attempt funny games like that, I'll be there to twist their necks first.
Oh, I like that much better.
Yes, I remember that. And trust in the near future to regale you with the spectacle. Now, to unlock this door, just as a precaution. Try the other one. Ah, yes. It's coming, I think. That's it. I don't think Lomax could have heard that.
Hey, Mr. Fletcher.
Yes, Burns? Back already?
Aye.
Any luck?
Yes. I managed to pry one off. Easy when you got the knack. Here, take it.
Thanks. My hat. Quite a weighty little chap, isn't it?
Aye. A thick steel canister, magnetized so as to stick to the steel hull. Can you open it?
No. Can't even see a joint in the metal. I'll have to examine it later.
Well, listen. The motorboat coming back. That's Kitson for a cert.
Yes, I think so. Wonder what he thought when he didn't find you at home bleeding to death. Now, you hop it.
Okay. I'll grab a rope under the stern sheets. Yell if I can help and I'll come aboard. See you later.
Help me to screw up the porthole, Nancy, quick.
Fortune ahoy!
Are you Kitson?
Yes, coming alongside.
Did you get him?
No, he's bunked. Stand by to catch the pay dirt.
What, not in the cottage?
Not a sign. Give me a hand.
Now, Nancy, there's going to be a rough house any moment from now. I've got the cabin door open. Hurry out. Make aft to the chain locker. Duck in there and hide. Quick, girl, quick. You've only got seconds.
All right.
Now, Fletcher, my boy, stand by for squalls. Come in, gentlemen. The door's open.
What the devil's this, Lomax? Didn't you lock him in?
I swear I did.
You damnable idiot, you couldn't have.
In case a fight ensues, Kitson, let me tell you that dear Mr. Lomax did lock me in. It so happens, though, that I suffer a little from claustrophobia, and so, having a winning way with locks, I was able to let a little air into the cabin.
Why didn't you open a port?
I did that, too.
Lomax, where's the girl? What in the devil's name is all this? What's been going on?
Mr. Kitson, do think of your blood pressure. You asked me why I didn't open a port, and I said I did. Thus the, vanishing lady.
You mean to say that...
Exactly. Nancy is no fairy, but with a little assistance from my end, the interesting end as it turned out to be, she put to sea, as it were.
All right, joke. You've had your turn and your bit of fun. Now we'll get serious, see?
With that 6-shooter of yours pointing at my midriff, I can be very serious.
That's just dandy. All right, the girl's gone. You managed that. And you're going to pay later. Kitson, your turn. What happened to Shaw?
I got to the cottage, but your wounded man, Burns, wasn't there. Come on, fella, out with it. Did you row him out with you? Is he aboard this hooker?
I'm certain he's not aboard this hooker.
Then where is he?
Well, I told you. He was badly hit. There are 149 hospitals in the metropolis. Ring 'em up. You'll probably run him down.
You say he was badly hurt?
For heaven's sake, don't make me keep repeating myself.
Then how did he get to hospital? He was alone in the cottage.
At last you've asked the right question.
Be careful. This gun's going off any moment from now.
Yes, well, that's a good enough lead for me to give you the required information. Now, listen, Muggs. You traced Burns and myself to the Stepney address.
Easy.
Then you shot Burns through the window. Then you kidnapped his girl and retreated aboard your, hooker.
Get on with it.
Right. A shooting and a kidnapping are serious matters. I managed to point that out to a friend of mine at Scotland Yard. Thus he must have paid a visit, found the badly wounded man, and had him taken to hospital. One of the 149. And
what? Listen, pal. You've got yourself mixed up with us in a way we don't like, see? Well, you've got about a minute. No more. To come clean. What did Burns tell you? Did he say he'd found out anything?
That's a lot of questions, and you're wasting my last minute on Earth, Lomax. As for your 6-shooter, keep it for another day. By the way, do you like oysters?
What?
Then try limpets. Now, you kitten. Come on, boys! Burns, tally-ho, come aboard!
Right, at the double!
So Fletcher comes out of a nasty scrape, the eventual result being, we feel sure, another little victory for the Grey Goose.
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
With Nancy a prisoner on the Fortune Finder, owned by those nasty crooks Kitson and Lomax, Burns and I rowed out to the ship. Burns, dressed like a frogman, went overboard to explore the keel of the boat for limpets, as he called them. Caught in the beam of the searchlight, I was forced to go aboard, and then imprisoned in the cabin with Nancy, while Kitson went ashore to find Burns. Meantime, Burns appeared at the porthole and handed me one of the limpets, a small steel canister weighing about 12 ounces. Kitson and Lomax then came to the cabin. I threw the limpet and skittled Lomax and his 6-shooter, while with a yell, Burns came in and really gave Kitson the exhibition round of his life.
Very nice while it lasted, Mr. Fletcher. We can take a breather now.
Yes, that limpet of yours came in very handy. Must have given friend Lomax quite a bump.
Aye.
By the way, you better pick it up. And the gun. Lomax is trigger-happy. If he comes to, he'll blast us right out of this cabin.
Right. I say, can we open this thing?
So far, I've failed. But we'll have another try now before trouble starts.
Trouble?
But don't forget, I was in touch with Scotland Yard this morning. They may have contacted the Thames Water Police.
I wish you hadn't. If what's in those tins is worthwhile, we could maybe make something out of it.
Which interests me vastly.
And before long, we may expect the water police, the customs officers and whatnot along.
All the more reason to move quickly. Firstly, what's in this gadget, and how do we open it to find out?
I've not got the faintest.
I've seen bombs made on this principle.
My heaven. Maybe they intended to blow the ship up and collect insurance.
I don't think so. Because, if that's the case, why the voyages back and forth to the Mediterranean?
Just camouflage.
No fear. Too expensive. Fuel, dock dues and all that. No, they're carrying contraband in these limpets, stuck under the hull magnetically.
Oh, and we cannot open one of them.
Given time, there's very little I can't open. Aha! I've got it.
You have?
Yes. There's a thin spot in the metal. Press it, so, and it breaks like tin. Lets the air in. And, bless my soul, it separates in the middle. Look.
Hey, what's inside? Crikey. Only a glass tube.
Yes, a test tube. 3 ounces, apparently. Corked and sealed. I'll soon fix that. Phew.
Oh, Lord, what a stink.
Exactly. Burns, my boy, that stink, just 3 ounces, would fetch about £200 on Fifth Avenue, New York, Bond Street, London, or the Rue de la Paix, Paris. No, Burnsy, that little 3-ounce tube contains the most highly concentrated perfume it's possible to attain. 1 little drop in refined alcohol, and you'd have a bottle worth £5 or £6. As I said, this 1 little tube alone is worth about £200.
And there's more than 100 of tubes fixed to the keel of this ship. 20,000 pounds under our feet.
And well under water.
Mr. Fletcher, it's all ours, too. Oh, come on, let's go a divvy.
Definitely. But not with 100-odd 12-ounce limpets. We'd never get 'em ashore. And do remember Her Majesty's customs.
Oh, we could dodge 'em.
Only to a certain extent. Now, I'm not averse to a penny or two, so we've got to scheme how we can be honest and, yet get a rake off.
Anything you say. I reckon Nancy and me can get married on this. Hey, wait on. Where is Nancy?
She's in a small compartment in the after end of the ship, making the acquaintance of, anchors and chains. So as you go to get her, think deeply, my friend.
Aye, I will. I shan't be long. I'll just tell Nance.
Now, to deal with these 2 beauties. The water cure, I think. Ah, yes, a lovely large bottle on the table. Come and get it, fellas.
What's this going on?
Coming to, eh? What about you, Lomax?
Just give me 2 minutes to get over this and I'll...
You'll do nothing. Listen, my friends. I've taken the precaution of getting the police and probably the customs into this matter, so there's very little you can do.
You wait.
No, you wait. Perhaps you happen to know the penalty for attempted murder and kidnapping?
The girl got away, didn't she?
Yes. Not the way you thought, though. Still, she did get away, but that's not your fault. As a matter of fact, she's here, aboard the Fortune Finder, and just awaiting the police to give her evidence against you.
What else have you got on us?
Oh, just a matter of perfume smuggling.
How do you know that?
Limpets, my boy.
Listen, Lomax, let me handle this.
Go ahead.
Listen, you. When your police do come aboard, you can tell a yarn, can't you?
What's this?
You can say you thought the stuff was aboard, but you can't find it.
Well, I could say that, of course.
Then they'd search the ship.
And then?
Well, there's nothing aboard they could pick on. Listen, pal. 500 smackers to you now.
Now?
This minute. In that locker over there. I'll get it.
Keep your distance. I've got your gun, Lomax. Will you remind friend Kitson of that?
Open it. Help yourself.
Thank you. I will. Gentlemen, I thank you. 500 £1 notes. My. And in consideration of the receipt of this sum, I promise to tell the police and customs that I've made a mistake, and there isn't 3 penn'orth of contraband aboard the Fortune Finder.
That's it.
Good. You can take my word on that. All right. Now I shall have to lock you boys up to make the story good, eh? I hope you don't mind.
Can we trust you?
For £500, sonny boy, I'd trust Dick Turpin. See you later. Got a job of work to do. Burns, Nancy.
Coming.
Hurry. Now listen. Nancy, take this pistol. Guard that cabin door. You, Burns, are there cork life belts aboard?
Aye, plenty.
Good. Chuck a few overboard.
What for?
This. You say there are 100 or more limpets on the quay.
Aye.
Well, you and I can't get all those ashore, but we can get 20 or 30 of them. Get below again, laddie. Attach, say, 30 to life belts, and, well, that's as many as we need.
But,
shut up and listen. We've got to make our alley good with the customs boys. They must find something. Won't 4,000 or 5,000 pounds do you?
Oh, I get the idea.
Oh, all right, get a move on. Bring up 30, then change into shore duds quickly. Now, make it snappy. I've got to get the limpets ashore and make certain my Scotland Yard friend and the Thames Customs arrive. Quite a nice little haul, I think. Perfume for a million. Young Burns and Nancy's getting married. What happens to me? Have to watch my step. Fletcher has carried the job out with profit, I think. But I can't play any Grey Goose tricks this time. I wonder whether Ford and his merry men have arrived yet.
Ahoy there!
Ahoy yourself! That you, Inspector?
Yes, on the quay with 2 or 3 friends.
Excellent. Stand by to catch my painter.
Got you!
Eh? Oh, yes, I see what you mean. All right, step aboard.
After you.
Right. It's only a few yards, Ben. The vessel's in midstream. Fortune finder.
You say she's a smuggler?
Perfume in loads. But these customs gentlemen are more interested in that angle. You, I presume, are on the track of attempted murder and kidnapping.
Of course. But I gather in this case the two are closely allied.
Yes. And once aboard, I shall be able to hand over the gentlemen themselves, plus 2 witnesses to the shooting, and also myself. Furthermore, I shall produce real evidence of smuggling and evasion of Her Majesty's customs.
Oh, don't be so pompous, Fletcher.
Well, sorry, but defrauding Her Majesty's customs...
Yes, I know.
Well, here we are, gentlemen. Once aboard the lugger and all that.
And up we go.
Belay there, Burns.
Coming, Mr. Fletcher.
Right.
Inspector, meet Engineer Burns. Burns, meet these gentlemen from customs.
Aye. Now, where are these hobos?
Down below. Follow me. In this cabin. Good girl, Nancy. Still on guard, I see.
So, you've come back, eh?
Hey, wait! Who are all these people? You double-crossing rat!
Steady. This is Inspector Ford of Scotland Yard. These other gentlemen are customs officers. Just the party I promised you. Now, Inspector, you take over, what?
There was a shooting in a cottage in Stepney. A man was wounded. I've reason to suspect you both of being implicated.
It's a lie.
The man was, until recently, your engineer. A man named Burns. Burns, you there?
Yes, Inspector.
Then he's not in hospital.
No, fortunately for you.
I told him that, just to make it more difficult, as it were.
Then you've got nothing on us.
On the contrary, I have. You fired, but your bullet only made a small flesh wound. The intent was there. You, Kitson, and Lomax, you're under arrest for attempted murder. Anything you say will be used in evidence.
Well, let's not forget the other issue, Inspector, the smuggling.
So, you double-crossed us in that, too.
Not a bit of it. Gentlemen, in defense of these gentlemen, let me assure you there is nothing of a contraband nature aboard this vessel. I've searched and found only this.
Then we've come on a wild goose chase.
Eh? Oh, a wild goose chase. This I refer to is a little tube of highly concentrated perfume essence. The only one aboard. How's that, Lomax? How's my promise?
You're doing fine. I will say that for you.
But, and when I say but, although there's only this little fellow aboard, there are many canisters of the stuff adhering to the keel of the ship magnetically held.
What's that?
What? Why, you...
How many would you say, Burns?
Oh, I counted about 80.
Well, that's over, Burnsy. I didn't think pulling you out of the drink that night was going to prove so profitable.
I thought my last hour had come. Nancy and I are going to set up house now. But don't you want some of the profit?
No, old man. But the fact is, I'd like you, if and when you've got over all the excitement of your wedding, to do me a good turn.
Oh, of course I will.
Then, out of our ill-gotten gains, send 100 to the Mission to Sailors, Stepney branch.
Aye, I'll send it from you.
No, don't do that. Mum's the word. Shove it in an envelope, anonymous gift idea, and put this feather in with it.
Just that?
Yes, just that. A feather.
So another adventure has drawn to a successful close. But how long can one man successfully pit his wits against the world of crime, even though he be the Grey Goose?
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Musing over my misdeeds, I find that recently I've been more on than off the moral code. True, I've extracted a lot of filthy lucre from certain parties, but none of this came my way. Take, for instance, the case of the Purbright factory. I got an oblique sort of mention in an ad Barbara read me out of the evening paper.
Here's what it says. The Deputy Treasurer, United Nations, accepts with grateful thanks the cheque for £50,000 donated by the late Edmund Purbright for the relief of distressed children of the United Nations. It came under cover of a rather famous name or pseudonym, the Grey Goose, and was accompanied by the usual feather token.
Is that all?
No, the columnist reporting this power adds this in brackets. Conscience money, no doubt.
Well, of all the confounded impertinence of the man. Lionel Boyd is the poison pen artist who writes that column.
I know that.
How, Sherlock?
He always signs his name.
And to think that snake in the grass was at school with me, and in my old regiment. By Jove.
Now what has struck the mighty brain?
Barbara, let me be serious a moment. Lionel Boyd, in those days, ran the regimental rag, and during my trouble, you know, court-martial and all that, he practically roasted me alive.
Nobody likes him very much.
No, he's too venomous. But he's terribly prosperous. This cutting is most opportune. It's reminded me that cheats should never prosper. But if they should, then somebody should put a stop to their good fortune.
I take it, then, that you are going to play nemesis in the case of Lionel Boyd.
True, O Queen. He lives in a set of extravagant and elegant bachelor chambers off Jermyn Street. Wouldst care to venture there, wench?
Certainly. But if he's as poisonous as his pen, I'd like a chaperone.
By all means, it shall be I myself. So let's away and spy out the land in the vicinity of Master Lionel Boyd.
Listen, Rowley. We can't pay him a call now. He's got a party on.
So much the better. We'll be lost in the crush, and thus get round unobserved. Look, here, quick fan of campaign. Take this card, the press card. Miss L.R. Stiles, that's you, Fleet Street. Social gatherings, that's your lurk. Got it?
Right.
And now for the bill.
Good afternoon. Whom may I have the pleasure of announcing?
My card. I gather Mr. Boyd's reception is well attended.
Unfailingly. Miss Stiles. And you, sir?
Mr. Gray, I'm just tagging along with Miss Stiles.
Mr. Boyd, this is Miss Stiles, and this is Mr. Gray.
Yes, you mustn't get us mixed, must you?
Yes, that is no, of course not. What?
From Fleet Street, Mr. Boyd.
Delighted indeed. Come to ride up my modest little party, eh? Do make yourselves at home. You'll find Fleet Street well represented among my guests.
Thank you, Mr. Boyd. I'll go and have a word with some of your lady guests. Hats, you know. See you later.
Mr. Gray, have a cigarette.
No, thanks. Don't smoke.
Jolliffe, get Mr. Gray a drink, will you?
No, thanks. Don't drink sometimes. I'll just do a wander myself, if I may.
Oh, by all means. You'll probably meet some old friends. All sorts come to my little parties.
Little parties?
Oh, this is just a small one. Only about 100 here.
Where the devil do you hold the big ones? The Albert Hall?
You're quite a humorist, eh? Writer, I suppose. Somehow I feel I've met you before somewhere. Can't be very recently, though, because as a rule I'm quite good at that sort of thing. Well, have a good time.
Yes, I'm sure I will. Thanks awfully for letting me crash your teeny-weeny little party. Uh-oh. Now I'm really for it. Here's that confounded gossip, Judith Cameron. Oh, crikey, she's bearing down on me. She knows I'm not Mr. Grey. Have to risk it now.
My darling Rolland
Judith,
Fletcher.
as you love me, don't call me Fletcher here.
Oh?
I'm here incog. Don't want anyone to recognize me.
Oh, what'll I call you then?
Oh, just Grey'll do.
Oh, what's on?
Just this, my dear. I'm going in for journalism.
You? You don't know a pen from a polo stick.
Shh. And again, shh. I am starting a column.
No.
Yes. And I do know a polo stick when I see one. A pen, I mean.
What's the column?
Scandal. Real off the equator stuff. Walter Winchell and this bloke Lionel Boyd will just get scorched out.
I can give you plenty.
Don't worry, I've got plenty. On you. You're the first victim.
Oh, isn't that thrilling? I'll just love it. Or would I? No. No, I've had one dose of that sort of publicity.
Boy?
Yes,
All right. All right. Now escort me around and find me a nice quiet spot where I don't have to meet anyone, and then you can start spilling the dirt. Well, how did you get on, Barbara?
While I was supposed to be writing about hats, I managed to draw a complete plan of the flat.
Good girl. It's just what we want.
As you noticed, it's on the top floor, the third. All the flats are built around a centre court, which is covered in with glass.
Flat roofs?
Yes. I nicked up a little stair at the back. Leads to the roof.
Well, that sounds all right, too. Now, my report. 1, to my horror, I ran into the Cameron woman. But as a matter of fact, she proved a bit of blessing in disguise.
How?
She told me a little of Lionel that hadn't occurred to me. And then something struck me as very odd.
Oh? What was that?
I gathered that she was terrified of him.
Terrified of that worm?
Have you never heard of that famous quotation? The pen is mightier than the sword?
You mean he knows something about her that if he publicized it could damage her?
Exactly.
But that's blackmail.
Yes. Yes, you could call it that. For information received, I won't pay you a fee, but I will refrain from immortalizing you in my column. How's that?
Oh, the low hound.
Yes. I think I'm right as far as Judith Cameron's concerned, and it's given me ideas.
Are you certain he didn't recognize you?
Well, he did say he thought we'd met before.
Rolland.
But he can't place me yet. You see, I've grown some grey hairs, both in moustache and hair. He wouldn't recognize his company officer today, I'm certain, unless he got a jolly good hint.
What do you propose to do about it?
Not quite certain yet. But I'm going to give that flat of his a once-over this very night.
Shall I come?
Maybe. Yes, I think so. But we may have to make a break for it. So I think I'll wind the old piano wire around my waist in case of emergencies. Now, you get back to your flat. Dress, black jumper, black slacks, mask, grey moustache, grey wig. Right?
Check. The twins will start what time?
11 p.m. And I hope he's out.
Good heavens. The hall porter's still on duty.
Oh, confound him, yes. By Jove, Barbara, in these togs we are perfect doubles, aren't we?
How do we get past the hall porter's lodge?
Simple. We crawl on our tummies. Can't see us then, and he won't hear us on that thick carpet. Now you first, and when you reach the stairs, start going up. I'll be right behind you.
Right. Off I go.
Now me. Keep going. When we get to the top, go right, to the far end of the block. We'll wait and see if the coast is clear. Now, scram.
Good heavens, the lid's coming up.
Keep one in the shadow. I wonder which flat he, she, or it was going to. Ye gods! Judith Cameron.
The woman who...
Going to see the handsome Lionel for certain. Confound her, that means he's in.
We'd better scram, then. The inspection's off.
Wait.
You in, Lionel? Lionel. Good. He's out. Forgotten he once gave me a key.
Mischief afoot, Barbara. Now, how can I get a glimpse of what goes on? Judith finds him out, but gets in with a key, apparently an old keepsake. Oh, sorry. She's glad, but why? Barbara, I'm going to get a peek in there somehow.
How?
The roof. Quick, sure there's a general stair, a passage stair.
Yes?
Then up, my friend, up we go.
You can't see through the flat roof.
No, of course not. Have you tried? Remember my piano wire?
Of course.
Now hitch the swivel, yes, this'll do. Chimney stack. Now let me unwind it from my waist. So.
All fixed this end. Got your gloves?
Now over I go. I may be able to see into the window. You stay here, and if some curious citizen should chance upon the battlements, the flat roof, cough like blazes. Now, stand by. Here I go. See you in jail. Good. The window's open, but I don't like so much light. Better let myself down a foot or two more. I look like a bubble dancer in a spotlight.
Oh, nutty. Oh, heavens, my one chance of finding it. Oh, where does he hide his dirt? No secret drawers. There is he.
Poor old Judith. Bad luck. No go, I fear.
Oh, my heavens. Oh, I'll tear this place apart till I find it. Oh, what's the time? 11:30. Won't be back yet. Can't come back before I've got what I... Lionel!
Judith!
Lionel, I was only...
Only what? Tearing my belongings to pieces, eh? You fool, do you think I leave the sort of stuff you're looking for lying around for fools like you to find?
Oh, why do you have to hold this thing over my head like this? Give it to me, Lionel, please. Please, Lionel. I'll do anything in exchange.
Well, yes, perhaps I might. Listen, I will bargain with you.
Oh, Lionel.
A man crashed my party this afternoon. A man I should know but can't place. He's a man I feel bodes me no good. You were, or appeared to be, pretty pally with him this afternoon. Who is he?
Well, Oh, Lionel, I don't... He's a Mr. Grey.
Well?
But I don't know him. I only met him at your party. For the first time.
You're lying.
Yes, today. I met him for the first time.
Answer me. Tell me who Mr. Grey is. What he is and everything you know about him.
The unpleasant Mr. Boyd has caught Judith Cameron in an awkward situation, and it seems certain she'll have to reveal Rolland Fletcher's identity to him. How will this new development affect the plans of the Grey Goose?
I have been here.
The Grey Goose, Adventures of a Modern Robin Hood.
Having made a gesture as the Grey Goose, I was most annoyed to find a certain columnist brand it as conscience money. This Lionel Boyd, the columnist, is a bad bird. He was also a member of my old regiment. At any rate, Barbara and I crashed one of his terrible parties, and he didn't recognize me. I met Judith Cameron there, a gossip, but I sensed a very worried woman. That night found Barbara and myself on the roof. Hitching my piano wire to a chimney stack, I let myself down from the roof and had a perfectly safe peeping Tom's view of Boyd's flat. Judith Cameron was there, turning it upside down, obviously searching for something. Suddenly, enter the putrid Lionel Boyd himself. Consternation from Judith, closer attention from self.
I've told you, Judith, what you seek is not here. But I promise to let you have it if you tell me everything you know of this...
Mr. Grey?
That's what he called himself, Grey. I didn't like him, but you seem to know him very well. Who is he? What do you know of him?
Just that he's Mr. Grey. No occupation, just one of those people one meets. Lionel, I don't know him at all well.
And I tell you, you're lying. Listen, Judith. You want something I hold over you. You're terrified I may publicize it in my column.
Don't, Lionel, please.
I've told you what I want. Give me the real story of this Mr. Grey, and you'll get in return every scrap of paper, every photograph, in fact, the whole work.
Oh, I wish I'd never seen or heard of you.
Oh, rubbish. Our own little romance was quite a thing, wasn't it? Oh. You enjoyed it while it lasted, didn't you?
Yes. To my shame. Makes me ill now to think I ever allowed you to even touch me or speak to me.
Don't be so mealy-mouthed. Ours was the one big, supreme moment in your frustrated life.
You abominable snake.
Put that statue down, you idiot.
No, I won't. Even if I told you what you want to know, I wouldn't trust you to keep your side of the bargain.
Getting violent in your advancing years, my dear.
Oh, you rat!
Oh. Good shot, lady. Excuse the pantomime act.
How... Where did you come from?
One question at a time, dear lady. Who I am doesn't matter.
Can't see anything under that mask.
You're not intended to. Where I came from? Obvious, my dear. Observe this wire. The pantomime act aforesaid.
But I don't understand.
I let myself down from the roof, just in time to witness a marvellous throw-in. First time I've been present when a lady hit her mark.
But...
Now, wait a minute. Let's get a closer view of the victim.
Have I killed him?
I'm afraid not. But my word, you've made a horrible mess of his dentures. And I fear broken his classical nose. Incidentally, he's out to it. That little Venus statuette has done a good job.
I didn't mean to hurt him so much.
My dear lady, instead of that little figurine, you should have hurled the coal scuttle at him. Except that I think coal black wouldn't show on this very dirty customer.
He is just dirty.
So much so that I think, should you rub him with a piece of coal, it would leave a white mark.
Do you know something?
I know lots.
The something I mean is... I seem to know you.
What? Oh, heaven forbid. I'm a man in black, masked. I enter through the window on a wire like a puppet. Lady, I decry your selection of acquaintances.
If you would take off your mask...
Madam, my features would revolt you. I've been sadly marked by smallpox, I have a hare lip, and have been taking Atibrin in large quantities. You know how yellow that makes one.
I don't believe you.
Never mind. We'll get better acquainted one day. The point is this. You're in trouble. You're searching for something that this frustrated journalist possesses and holds over you.
How do you know that?
I was hanging on my wire outside the window.
Then you heard.
Everything. Look, lady, all is not lost. There's always a way out. I, too, have an interest in our battered friend. There may come a time very soon when I can get what you want. When I get what I want.
You have no idea what I want from Lionel.
Indeed, I have. I was listening at the window, remember. Papers, photographs, and whatnot in the possession of one, the famous Lionel Board. The publication of which, as a titbit in his column, would destroy a little chance of happiness in the life of Judith Cameron.
Heavens, are you omniscient? Are you? Who are you? Somehow I sense danger.
The only danger you need fear is from that carpet snake. Now, you get out quickly and leave me to deal with our friend. Believe me, I can help.
I wish I knew who you were.
All in good time. Let me open the door for you.
Thank you.
As to who I am, permit me my card.
A feather?
A grey goose feather.
Then you are the...
Good night. Now for our friend with a toothless grin. Oh, nice shooting, Judith. And you, my little figurine, 6 inches high and weighing just about 1 pound, I'd say. Well done, little Venus. I should think this is the closest to love Master Boyd has ever been. Come on now. Come on, you. Come on. Come on and talk.
Where am I? Oh, what's happened?
Oh, so you're beginning to sit up and take notice, are you?
I've been knocked out, I think.
And how? Come on, man. Pull yourself together.
Where's my man, Jolliffe? Are you Jolliffe?
Definitely not.
Of course you're not. What the devil are you doing in my apartment? All in black. mask and things.
Just a form of evening dress with me.
Get out. You're a crook, a burglar. How the devil did you get in? Where's the...
The lady didn't like your company. She left.
So, what is this?
All in good time, Lionel Boyd, writer of dirt.
What do you...
Shut up. I'm just on my way to stopping your little game. You see, I know how you get your dirt, and I think in the near future that column of yours in the Daily Shriek is going to cost you a very big headache.
I'd have you know
Shut up.
that...
Now, I've got to cut this interview a bit short. I have fresher and sweeter fish to fry. But listen, laddie, I'm coming back.
I hope you do. The police will be waiting for you.
I? Oh, not I, Mr. Boyd. Good night.
You can't get away yet. Now try.
Can't get away, eh? Ever been to the pantomime, Boyd? Watch this.
The window. Hey, you'll break your neck. And a good thing, too.
Nonsense. Here, take this. A parting gift.
A feather.
Cheerio! Cheerio!
How the... The feather. Help! Help, everyone! Help! The Grey Goose! The Grey Goose is in the building! Help! Help!
So you're back. My head, you've brought a hornet's nest about your ears.
I couldn't resist it, but I must say I didn't expect that worm to yell the place down. Well, now to get off this roof and out of it.
I tell you he jumped out of the window.
Oh, rubbish. Where's his body? It's a 35-foot drop.
The door was locked, I tell you.
You ready, Barbara? Got the wire fixed round your waist?
Yes.
Then over you go. I'll let you down lightly. All right.
Going fine. More line.
Good girl. Signal when you reach the street. Meow like an alley cat.
Meow!
Good. Now me. Here goes.
Right.
Yes. Darn shame with all this activity I haven't time to get my wire back.
Never mind. We'll have to make a run for it.
Not yet. In these black togs, we won't be spotted in this dark alley. Listen.
I say it's rubbish, man.
Oh, it isn't rubbish, Inspector. I locked the door of my flat so he couldn't get out that way.
Well, he must have done. Look, we're right below your window, 3 stories up. Where's the mangled remains?
I tell you, he shoved that damnable feather in my hand and then leaped out of the window.
Fantastic story. Wait on. What's this hanging from the roof? God bless my soul, a thin steel wire. Capel!
Sir?
Run upstairs onto that flat roof and detach this wire.
I told you, Inspector.
Yes, I know you didn't. Don't say I told you so to me. Piano wire. Thin but strong and tested to about 500 or 600 pounds. So that's how my Grey Goose makes his getaway.
I trust you'll catch the miscreant, Inspector.
You trust? Damn me, I've been trusting for over 2 years. Tonight's been probably the nearest we've ever been to capturing him.
You shut the door after the horses bolted, eh?
Hang it, man, he's not a horse. He's a Grey Goose. Now shut up.
They say, Barbara, with the morn cometh repentance. But I don't think our friend Boyd has ever heard of it. Listen to this poppycock in the famous column.
Written by himself, of course.
Of course, he's right. It goes, what do you think, folks? Your friend has had adventures. An affray, if you please, with none other than that terror of the country, the Grey Goose. Ha! Listen. Yes, believe it or not, it paid a personal visit last night. Ransacked my rooms and stole I don't know what. He was, however, disturbed by your columnist, who grappled with him. But grappled, people. Right within my grasp he was, but managed to escape almost miraculously. However, he didn't escape scot-free. I flatter myself I dealt a shrewd blow here and there. S.Y. and Attendant P., Scotland Yard and Police he means, arrived as usual behind time, only to find that the bird had flown. Inspector F., if you know who I mean, was most cast down. I felt quite sorry for him. Good heavens!
The conceited little rat. Any more?
No, except a society news par. Grey Goose again. Attacks well-known society journalist. Police discover an important clue. It appears the Grey Goose makes his spectacular descents, where doors are unavailable, by way of a steel wire, probably carried around with him, and then hitched round any convenient projection.
It seems there is a woman concerned in last night's escapade. A gold powder compact was dropped. The police are keeping the matter of the ownership secret. Confound the woman.
Judith Cameron?
Exactly. Very dangerous, my dear. Very dangerous.
Why does Fletcher attach so much importance to a powder compact? The next chapter will tell us.